The fact of the matter is, whether you've been in network marketing for years or just a few days, your family and friends have seen your opportunity and your phone is, as we call it, burnt. If you're anything like me, that's a scary thought. So the big question is, how do entrepreneurs like us, who love the network marketing profession, who no longer want to be that guy, and are tired of convincing people during uncomfortable let's get coffee meetings where they say, what's this all about? How do we market in a way that aligns us with our dream clients and expands our network of upfront and transparent professionals, allowing us to get our time back, our families back, and gain a real passive asset? People like us who value impact over income, we deserve to see our visions once and for all. Join me in this podcast where we'll uncover just how to do that. My name is Eric Sablon. Welcome to Burnt Phone Marketing. What is going on, guys? Eric Sablon here with Burnt Phone Marketing. And I use the word epic, but this is the epic interview. I'm going to talk to one of the premier network marketers in the space. She was a law school dropout. In her first entrepreneur experience, she made $102K in her first year. First million before the age of 30. She's been in 5 different network marketing companies, but here's the best part. She has hit the top rank in all 5 of the different network marketing companies. She's made over millions in the last 26 years. She's a single mom, sole provider of 2 boys, a global speaker, an author, and she shared stages with many of the best speakers. Just recently, she was on somewhere where she was on an event where she shared the stage with Margie Aliprandi. She shared the stage with Jessica Higdon. She shared the stage with Sarah and Tony Zalecki. Amazing accomplishments. She's a world traveler, a speaker, a coach, a mother, an author. It is my honor and privilege to welcome Miss Michelle Barnes to the show. Welcome, Michelle.
Hey guys, Eric, thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you for having me. I'm super honored, super excited to be here. My gosh, we're gonna have some fun, right?
We're gonna have a blast. This is gonna be, like I said, epic, with a capital E and a capital P and a capital I and a capital C. Epic.
That's right. All the capitals.
All caps.
We're screaming at you.
All right. So you know what? I'm just going to start off. Some people don't know exactly who you are. Kind of did your bio, but tell us a little bit about your backstory and how you got started in this amazing industry of network marketing.
Yeah, thank you, Eric. And thanks again, just sincerely. Thanks for having me. I was listening to your podcast and I love it. I can't wait to catch all the ones that I haven't had a chance to listen to yet, because every single one of them that I've listened to is amazing. And I love what you're doing. And anyone out there that's, raising the bar in our profession, I'm always your biggest fan. So thank you. And I appreciate you having me. So
thank you.
All right. Well, yeah, I'll give you the Cliff Notes version because, 26 years, we could be here a long time. But it's been quite the ride. For me, I obviously did not sit in a sandbox at 3 or 4 years old going, oh, one of these days, I'm going to be on the top of an awesome pyramid and do this network marketing thing and, sell some vitamins and stuff. That was not what I dreamed about, sitting in that sandbox. But what I did think I was going to be was an attorney, like you said. And I think like a lot of us, Eric, I was told to go to school, get good grades, go to college, that college was key to success, and get out, get a job, start at the bottom, work your way to the top, and you'll be immensely successful. And, I bought it, boy. I mean, I bought it hook, line, and sinker. I was the first person in my family to go to college. My mom was a single mom. She had me when she was 18. My grandma was a single mom of 6 kids. My mom was a single mom of 4 kids. Like I said, had me when she was 18 and raised me by herself. My parents got divorced when I was 9 months old. And so, for me, I was like, oh man, money was always an issue, and money was always an issue in our family. It was always like, oh, we can't afford it. Or, we didn't even have furniture when I was little. I mean, like I grew up in kind of the hood in Southwest Denver, and which I wouldn't trade for anything in the world at this point, looking back, but I mean, it's not like I was, born with a silver spoon in my mouth or anything. Like, I mean, maybe a wooden spoon on the backside. I was the one causing trouble, but I did that. So I went to CU Boulder, go Buffs. And then I went to law school for a year. I spent $30,000 for 1 year of law school. I spent 80 grand on 5 years of education. I was waiting tables and bartending. I was a personal trainer. I've always been into, health and fitness and nutrition and wellness. So, so that's been amazing over the last 26 years, because that's what I've always been a part of. But, when I was in law school, honestly, Eric, I had just spent 30 grand for 1 year of law school. And, it was almost like that internal GPS system was like flashing like crazy, like you're going the wrong way. And because that's what I had always wanted to do, and I was already 80,000 in debt, I thought, God, what am I going to do? Like, I got the worst of it over with. Do I keep going? Then I'm 150,000, 200,000 in debt. Do I like cut my losses and just like run for the hills, get the hell out of here? And so in between my first year and second year of law school, I came back to Colorado. I was in law school out in LA. And I came back to Colorado, and I actually answered an ad in the paper. And so that's how my network marketing career got started. Not your typical like, oh, Aunt Martha, who's never made any money, invited me to take a look at this, or my cousin's sister's brothers, whatever. I kind of wish someone that knew me would have invited me to take a look at it, because maybe I wouldn't have been as skeptical. But I answered it on the paper, and the ad said sports minded. I was like, well, I played sports, have a mind, qualified. Real logical. And it said 3,000 to 6,000 a month. And I was like, holy cow, like that's a lot of money. I was 23 at the time. And I was like, man, if I could even make just 3,000 a month, like that'd be awesome. Like I really thought 3 grand a month was a lot of money back then. And it was back then to me. And so I went in for what I thought was an interview, and saw a lot of products in the corner, almost turned around and walked out. And luckily the guy that I was meeting with, like we built a ton of rapport. Like there's lessons in this message. I'm not just like blabbing, talking your ear off, but there's some things that I think every network marketer should really listen to, some of the key points in this story, because I wouldn't have even shown up for that appointment if it weren't for the conversation I had with the guy on the phone. He built a lot of rapport. We talked for about 45 minutes. When I came in, I almost walked out, but because of the relationship we built on the phone, like he just said, look, because I was just like, dude, I'm out. Like, I need a real job. Like, I'm going to be an attorney. Like, I'm not going to sell water filters and freaking vitamins. Like, no way. And he was like, look, he's like, we were going to spend 45 minutes together. He's like, why don't you just sit, just listen. And if it's for you, great. If not, great. And I've been saying that for 26 years, Eric. So he literally said, look, just check it out. He's like, if it's for you, great. If not, great. If not, we'll part as friends. And I was like, all right, fair enough. And one thing he said too was look, every single thing that you said, he's like, we talked on the phone for 45 minutes. He's like, every single thing that you said you were looking for in life, this business has to offer. And you'll never know if you walk out that door.
Wow.
He's like, all I'm asking is for you to just take a look. And he's like, and then he said, if it's for you, great. If not, great. If not, no big deal. If not, we will part as friends. And so I sat through the presentation, and I sat there with my arms crossed, and I was just like, oh my God, this is so stupid. Would never do this. This is crazy. And then they started talking about the book, Think and Grow Rich, and they started talking about 3% and 97%, that 3% of America retires financially independent, 97% of America retire financially dependent on friends, family, and the federal government when they retire. And that hit me like a 2x4. And they basically said, you get to pick, you know, do you want to be a 3%er and be financially independent, or do you want to be the 97% that is broke and financially dependent on other people the rest of their lives? And I was like, I need to get into this 3%, you know, club. This is awesome, you know? And that was when I was like, wow, you know, and the biggest thing that I took from that is that successful people think differently, and entrepreneurs think differently. And what we've been programmed our whole lives to go to school, get good grades, get a job, start at the bottom, work your way to the top, like, who's that really working for? And for me, I was like, wow, it's not really working for anybody. There's not many people that programming is actually working for. And so I thought, you know, what do I have to lose? Like, you know, I'm going to get started part-time. You know, if I can make an extra 500 to $1,000 a month, sweet. I was like, if I can make $1,000 a month, start like tossing it at this like mound of debt that I've created, you know, with college and law school, awesome. And I also, one thing that I think had going for me at the time was I was willing to do the work right away. But I also had a long-term mentality, because I think I looked at it like, man, even if this takes me 5 years to make $5,000 a month, passive residual income, like, dude, that's not working, right? Like, even if it takes 5 years to make $5,000 a month passive residual income, is it worth it? Hell yeah, it would be worth it, right? And so for me, I'm like, you know, less than 5% of the population makes more than 60,000 a year, which is 5,000 a month. Less than 5% of the population makes more than 5,000 a month, and that's working 40 plus hours a week. So I thought, if I could just like plug away at this for the next 5 years and get to 5,000 a month residual income, so where it's coming in whether I work or not, is it worth it? Heck yeah. And so that, you know, I came in and, you know, I came in on a Tuesday night, I came back on a Wednesday, got more information. I was in an RV with a bunch of freaks, a bunch of weirdos driving across the country from Colorado to Phoenix, Arizona to go to a 3-day event that weekend. And at that event, I was done. Like, I was like, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And I was like, I am going to be that person on that stage that is inspiring people, making the world a better place, teaching people how to think differently. And that was when I knew, like, okay, oh my God, like, I found it. Like, this is my calling. And it really, I mean, speaking and teaching people, I love teaching people how to become healthier, because health is wealth. Okay. Without your health, you have nothing. I love teaching people how to become wealthy, because when you get finances out of the way, hallelujah, life is, you know, I've been on both sides of the track. I've been super, super, super broke, and I've made really, really good money. And I can tell you, making good money where money's not an issue, life is just better. Okay. It doesn't mean it's easy. It's just better. And, you know, and so, but what I really fell in love with, Eric, is teaching people how to think differently, and teaching people how to really have that checkup from the neck up and work on their mindset, and change that employee thinking to entrepreneurial thinking, and, you know, and victim mindset to a winner, a victor's mindset. And so that's it. So you know, I accidentally made 102,000 my first year. I had no freaking clue how the comp plan worked. I didn't care. You know, I still had people, you know, being like, well, when are you going to get a real job? I'm like, what? And yeah, you know, was blessed to make my first million before the age of 30. And now fast forward 26 years later, as a single mom and the sole provider of 2 boys, the last 6 years, with 26 years under my belt, the last 6 years have by far been the best and the most magical. And a lot of it is based on a lot of the things that you teach and preach and bring people on your show to talk about. And, you know, being able to transition to building 100% online, and being able to create duplicatable systems, just been a total game changer. So it's been a whirlwind. It's been a ride, I tell you. But I always tell people, you know, just put your arms up. Put your arms up.
That's so funny. So one of the biggest nuggets that I just pulled from you was 26 years, right? The last 20 was successful, but when you hit that 21st year, things just blew up. And you said, like, the last 6 years have been amazing. And what do you think is the biggest, because you probably were belly to belly, you probably were face to face, you probably were doing a lot of old school network marketing for the first, let's just say, let's just be nice and say the first 15 years, because there was a transition right there at that, that end. What do you feel has made the transition in the last 6 years? Like if you could put your name, if you could put, 2 or 3 concepts, what do you feel it is that has put the gasoline on your business in the speed wise?
Yeah, I mean, gosh, Eric, I mean, the first 20 years were amazing. Don't get me wrong, and I loved what I was doing, and in every way that you could possibly think of building this business, I've done it. I mean, in 26 years, 26 years ago, we didn't even have the freaking internet. You know what I mean? So I'm like totally dating myself right now. I'm like, I started when I was 4, do the math, 26. Okay. But anyway, but we didn't even have the internet back then. And so, I think my first social media was probably like MySpace and Facebook. And that was probably about 14, 15 years ago. And so, yeah, I mean, like the only thing that remains the same is change. And I think honestly, in the last 6 years, we have more people winning in the last 6 years than we did probably in the first 20 combined. Mm. And the speed of what we are able to do with the internet and with being able to build 100% online. Because my first 2 companies, we had offices all over the country. So I was doing 7 to 9 presentations a week, hour-long opportunity meetings, once, sometimes twice a day, every single day, except for Sunday. And Sunday, I was still smiling and dialing, boy. And I did the home events. I mean, our motto is more meetings means more money. Well, guess who was doing all the meetings? Is me. I did the coffee shop appointments, from morning until night, where I would just sit there and people would bring me their people, and I would do a flip book presentation all day and all night. I did the farmers markets, pouring samples like a freaking Costco lady. There were times where in the beginning, I even took the white pages, which people probably don't even know what that is anymore, a big fat phone book, and I would start with the A's and I would just cold call and literally ask, are you keeping your options open? Hi, Joe Smith, are you keeping your options open? You don't know me directly. I just thought I'd give you a call, see if you're keeping your career options open. I was willing to do whatever it took. People wouldn't do that shit today. Excuse the French, no way would people do the things that we did back then. Like I said, you name it, like I've done it in this business. But I was willing to do that, but 99% of people were not. And if you think about it, what network marketing preaches is, come in, make an extra $500 to $1,000 a month. So the majority of the people that do this are part-timers who probably have never had any kind of entrepreneurial experience, or maybe they just kind of want a little side hustle. They want to make a little extra money. And so to create a model where, for us, we created the first ever social retail company. And for us, that was magical, because what we did is we created a system where people can literally build 100% online, no parties, no meetings, no home events, no hotel events, none of that anymore. Thank you, sweet baby Jesus. And, and be able to, no matter what your background is, no matter how much success or you've had or not had, how smart you are or how stupid you are, how introverted or how extroverted you are, because people, have a lot more confidence behind a keyboard than standing in front of the room in front of a whole crowd, or even meeting with someone face to face across the table at a coffee shop. So, to be able to do the things that we've done, we created the ATM system, add tag message, and literally to be able to add somebody to a group and tag them on a video and put them in a 3-way chat. And a 3-way chat's like a modern day 3-way call, which, forgot about that. I used to do 3-way calls from morning until night. And being a single mom with 2 kids, I would literally be like hiding in closets, holding the door shut on the inside, doing a 3-way call like this, while my kids are like, and I'm like, that is not freedom. Okay. It's just not, and every once in a while, my son will still come up and like hang out, come up in my office and say hi to everybody, but it's just so different. And the fact that I can do it all from home, from my phone, that I can build a business in 28 countries from the palm of my hand. Like, are you kidding me? You know, it's just magical. And also, people are not duplicatable, systems are.
Mhm.
And so create systems when it's not like my teams were always personality driven. And because we all had big personalities, but those big personalities are not duplicatable. And that's not the majority of folks. You know what I mean? So to create systems where anyone can win is game changing.
Yeah, systems don't break. I remember a long time ago, you know, people break, systems don't break. Like if you going through the process, like Eric Warrior, I love it what he says, don't, if it doesn't duplicate, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But systems duplicate, people do not duplicate. You can't, like, you know, if you put something into the system, as long it's going to go literally exactly like you told it to. Down the assembly line, the wheels are going to go on here, the steering wheel is going to go on there, the horn's going to honk, and at the end, you're going to be able to drive off and honk the horn. The system is the key. Like if you run your business like that, systematize your business, and that's what we teach, systematize your business, then that's exactly what's going to happen, because with the system's going to create consistency. It's going to create, you're going to know, like Grant Cardone says, if you don't know, you don't know. Like constantly changing this stuff, the system in the middle of it without letting it run, you're never going to know.
Yeah. Well, I always say systems stand for save yourself time, energy, and money. And that's exactly what systems do. That's what it stands for. That's what they do. They, you know, systems save yourself time, energy, and money. And it really, it does. And the, you know, for me, like the first 20 years in network marketing, like I always had the money freedom because I was like one of those psycho distributors that was willing to work 24/7 and work my face off, and more meetings means more money, and flying all over the country and flying all over the world, doing meetings and doing all the things. But like, what percentage of people really want to do that? What percentage can do it? You know, what percentage are actually able to or willing to embrace the suck long enough to get good enough to even go do those things, you know? But anyone can add somebody to a group, tag them on a video, put them in a three-way chat, and introduce them to me or to another leader. And so that has just been a total game changer, because one thing to have financial freedom, it's another thing to have time freedom. And the time freedom that I've had the last 6 years has been such a blessing, because my youngest is almost 11. My oldest is 13. And I really feel like these last, 5-10 years have been the most important years probably of their life, and to be able to be a mom still, and, be a good mom, but also show my kids what it takes to be successful, and to have a strong work ethic, and to lead by example, and to have integrity, and be a person of your word, and do the things, whether you feel like it or not, which is that magical piece of success. It's awesome.
Yeah, and going back to the systems, that's amazing. Like hashtag like much love, because you're becoming you're a hustler, but you're also becoming the mom that you wanted to be, because of the systems that you put in place to remove yourself from the bottleneck of the business that you were creating before. Like that was the bottleneck. It was fun.
Oh, I loved it.
Million miler club, on the plane all the time, understanding all the airports, knowing where all the lounges are, knowing this, knowing that, super whatever special double black diamond on the Avis rental car thing. You had all that. People were coming to pick you up. But at the end of the day, like when you got done, you were sitting in the hotel room by yourself, wondering how the boys were doing.
Yeah.
And it's what we all want until we get it. Not saying it's not a great feeling, and we got to love what love what we built, but it's amazing to see the transition. Like you could feel it, like you're happier spending time with them, doing everything from the house, and your business is moving a lot faster.
Oh my gosh, at light speed. I mean, like it's crazy how much faster we've been able to do what we've done in 6 years. Like I said, I mean, our team's probably has had more success and more people winning in 6 years than we did in the first 20 combined. And, I mean, having the right culture, having the right leadership, having the right team, all those things with right products, right place, all that stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But at the end of the day, like you were saying, I mean, if you don't have systems in place, then it's not going to be sustainable. Is the
Mhm.
most important thing.
You're gonna burn
It's
yourself out.
yeah,
Just
and
burn
I've been
yourself
there.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, like I could show you pictures and define and like you look up burnout. It's like, oh, Michelle Burns. They're like, been there, been there, done that, got the t-shirt.
There you go. You got the badge. You got the badge of
Uh,
honor.
my gosh, many badges, like all up and down, like
Like a tattoo.
yeah, yeah.
So I want to ask you. So you hit the top rank in 5 companies, and things have happened. You transitioned. You did other things. You did things, and then I noticed that you transitioned to, and a lot of people are doing this now, but you transitioned to coaching and branding yourself. To a network marketer, maybe they're newer, maybe they've been around for a while. How important do you feel that creating a brand, your brand, creating your brand, your type of, that type of thing, and then maybe some coaching, because you're going to do it in network marketing, you're going to do the coaching part. So how important do you think it is for network marketers to think about creating a core offer, think about creating a brand, and think about I always say this, how do you differentiate yourself from the sea of sameness if the product and the technology is exactly the same? How do I say, I'm on Michelle Barnes' teams, but this is what I offer? I mean, how important do you feel that is?
I mean, I feel like I was, there's all this talk about building a brand and stuff like that. And honestly, Eric, like I've been building a brand for 26 years. I just didn't know I was building a brand. And at the end of the day, your brand is your reputation. And, I've built knock on wood, I've been blessed to build a very strong, reputable, awesome reputation in the profession. Because I lead by example and I do things the right way, and I'm a hard worker. People, my team they know that I will go to bat, like my initials are MB and they call me Mama Bear. and because I will go to bat. I mean, I want their success more than they do most of the time, which is also exhausting. That's a whole nother Oprah. That's a whole nother training we could do. But building a brand is it is important. And today I would tell people, like, for the first 20 years I was totally Spamela Anderson. I mean, like I was like, I wore my company name. I was on the side of my Mercedes and, t-shirts and hats and bags and all that. I mean, like, my last company, like I was the company. I was not, luckily I built a strong enough brand with my personal reputation as a network marketer to be like, I am Michelle Barnes, but I really, like, for the first 20 years in my first 4 companies, it was all about branding the company. And so I learned very quickly when my last company went out of business that not to do that anymore. And we've all been there and done it. I mean, my Facebook memories still to this day pop up and they're horrifying, I'm like, I mean, talk about spammy. I was like a full-on infomercial, and I'm like, oh my God, how do I have any Facebook friends left? Like, I would have been like, unfriend. Woof, you're annoying, but so for the last 6 years, I mean, I think a lot of us have kind of transitioned and I teach people every day, like, brand yourself. Don't brand the company. Don't spam your company name all over the place. You'd be pretty hard pressed, Eric, to even find out what company I'm with right now. And there's a reason for that, because you know what, like at the end of the day, excuse me, I've been talking all morning. We had a mastermind this morning. So I've been like nonstop talking. But at the end of the day, like, you want to, be able to communicate with people and you want to be able to influence people in a positive way. And so if everything comes down to connection and communication and influence, like, I want people to reach out to me so that I can be that person to them. I don't want them going to the Google and being like, oh, this is the company, blah, whatever. I want them to reach out to me and be like, hey, Michelle, like, looks like you're up to some really cool stuff. You got this, bye belly fat, you got this, liquid gold, like what is what is this? What are you doing now? Or, I see that you're not traveling as much, with your business, but I can tell that you're still doing something online. Like, what are you doing? Like, I love that. That is attraction marketing at its finest. It's curiosity marketing. It's not me jumping down their throat with both feet, because people love to buy stuff, but they don't like to be sold. We scroll through commercials for a reason. You know what I mean? So don't be a freaking commercial, and build your brand. And I always say your vibe attracts your tribe. Like, we have brought some of the most amazing humans into our world because of who we are and what we stand for, and our values as a company, our values as a team, our mission, what we represent. And so you're going to attract the best people when you know exactly who you are and what you stand for. And that is a brand, is that reputation piece. But yeah, I'll never brand another company ever again. And, I do, and it's not just because I do coaching and speaking and all these things. It's just, for me, like, I want to be the person that people think of, whether it's health, fitness, wellness, nutrition, whether it's, goal setting, time management, single mamahood, lady boss world, like all the things. So when you find the things that you love and you represent that, you're, like I said, your vibe attracts your tribe, and that's how your brand's created.
Well, you become the king of the category.
Yeah.
And, Russell talks about that all the time. So
Yeah.
you just dropped some mega bombs on me right now. Like, if you guys aren't taking notes right now, grab a pen and paper, because I'm going to reiterate something that you probably should understand. All right. That should give you enough time to get your pen and paper. She said, communication, connection, and what was the influence?
Influence. Yeah.
Influence, communication, and connection. If you went into every one of your interactions with people on social media, and those were your 3 goals, communication, connection, and influence, you're never going to feel like Pamela Anderson, because it's not about you. It's all about them. You're trying to connect with them. You're trying to communicate with them, really communicate with them. That means you have to listen. That was my quick coaching on what you said. And I love what you said, because all you've talked about is how important it is to really how the contribution that you give into all of your team. Service to many leads to greatness. And it's just like, that's in the Bible. Like, that's in the Bible. Service to many leads to greatness. And it's totally what you do. It's totally what you feel. It's totally your aura, I mean, we're on Zoom, but I'm feeling that aura through the technology. So that's about as woo-woo as I'm going to get, fellas, ladies and gentlemen. That's about as woo-woo.
I could bring the woo.
So I'm actually going to ask you, you do a goal setting. So what you're working on a goal setting, you have a goal setting seminar chat. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, so, that's kind of just been my jam for 26 years now. I've literally spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on coaches and training and seminars and books and courses and all the things. And at the end of the day, I mean, if somebody doesn't get really clear on what they want, like, if you don't know what you want, how are you going to get it? And so my first really intensive goal setting training was 26 years ago. And it was 2.5 days long. And we set goals 20 years out, and for 2.5 days. And, back then I thought, oh my God, 20 years away. Oh my God. And I couldn't even fathom that. And here I am 26 years later. And so the time is going to pass. So clarity is power. And when you know what you want, when you get really super clear on what it is you want your life to look like. And I always say, if time and money weren't an issue, what would your life look like? What would you be? What kind of person would you be? What would you do? What are the things you would do? where would you travel? Where would you go? What would you have? What are the things you would have? So what that whole be, do, and have, I truly believe that anyone on the planet can be, do, and have anything they want, anything they want. And everybody wants different things, right? And that's okay. That's what makes our world go round. And, what you want might not be what I want, and that's okay. But what do you want? And don't just set goals to set them, set goals to get them. So I realized I needed to teach people how to drive that so deep into their soul that they literally, like, their soul's on fire when they left that goal setting training. And so over the last 25 years, I mean, every year my goal is to make it better and stronger and more powerful. And I used to do it in my 3-day seminars that I used to do. And then obviously, start doing it online. Then I started doing it, once a year. And it's just kind of, taken a life of its own, where it's called the most powerful goal setting training of the year, which I did not call it that, but okay, we'll take it. But I do believe it's the most powerful goal setting training of the year, because I literally, I always say we stand on the shoulders of all the greats, right? And I took 26 years of, working with people, like Tony Robbins and like Bob Proctor, and all of these people that have made me and kind of melded me into like who I am today. But clarity is power. And so, I do the goal setting training. And ironically, Eric, for your listeners, my social media guys, it's $39 for the replay, which still is freaking nothing, because I literally have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to learn what I teach in just a couple hours. But for right now, until February 1st, it is free. Because we opened it up for the mastermind that we had today, because the mastermind that we've been doing this week has been all philanthropic. It's for my philanthropic organization called Women United for Change. So it's like a donation-based mastermind, where Margie and Lauren and I brought in some amazing speakers. And for this $1,000 course, it was $50 to get in. And the $50 actually educates a woman for 18 months on how to start a micro business in her community. Because 2 years at this exact time, I was in Africa working in the villages with these women and these moms and kids. And to see what entrepreneurship does for anyone and everyone, not just here, but all over the world, is the most powerful thing I've ever seen. And so I told these guys, I called my social media guy. I'm like, look, like, I would rather them donate that $39 to Women United for Change. Let's leave it open, because the whole thing was on the science of getting rich, and everything that the science of getting rich by Wallace Wattles talks about is, you've got to like know exactly what you want. And so we gave them that. So it's free until February 1st. Okay.
Nice. Well, what we'll do is we'll put that in the show notes. This is going to launch before February 1st. So we'll put that in the show notes. They'll be able to link to it. Super
Perfect.
Exciting.
And even after that, it's only $39.
Yeah,
so do it, write it off on your taxes. It'll make you way more than $39.
There you go. And I'm going to put in here, I have a question. This is where can people find you? Yeah. I'm actually going to drop your Facebook profile and your Instagram feed inside the show notes. So guys, if you want to connect with Michelle, go ahead and click on that. That'll be inside the show notes. We'll get that squared away. And she also has a book. So I would suggest you kind of take a look at the book that she has. Guys, her marketing is on point. You click on her Facebook profile, guess what? Her book is in her header. You can find the book, you can get everything set up. She does a piece on the ATM. So we talked about ATM earlier, systems. She does a piece on ATM. And the main writer of the book, I believe, is someone you guys might know, Ray Higdon.
Yeah,
some guy you guys might know, Ray Higdon. So that being said, and then there's I got one more question for you. Yeah. And then there's something super exciting that we've got going on. We are actually working on a mastermind together that stay tuned, because at the end of February or early March, we are going to do a mastermind with one of the most dynamic speakers, linguists. The guy has totally changed the mindset of what the words you put into your mind does, what the words you put into your saying, how you talk to yourself. It is amazing. Super excited. We'll actually reach out to you guys and kind of show you that. Make sure you listen to the full outro. We'll put you on the waiting list so that way you can get that information. It's probably going to be complimentary because, we're givers, we like to give, but, there'll always be an ask at the end. So just know, I always say how she said $39. I always tell people that pay attention. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Like they just pay attention. If you get it for free, it's going to be on the shelf. It's going to be dusty. You're not even going to log into it. Just like 80% of all the other courses you purchased.
Yeah.
So the last question I have for you, and I've been reading a book by Tony Robbins, and I love the way that he asks it. He asks it financially, but I'm going to ask it to you more in a business, more in a thing that I'm just going to ask the question. As a mother and a giver, not being able to pass money down to the boys, besides a concept on life or business, what would that look like?
Oh, okay. So I'm not passing on money to them. I'm just passing on like a philosophy or
a philosophy. So Tony Robbins says passing on a portfolio, like basically what portfolio you would send to your kids. Can't give them the money, but you can give them the portfolio. What would your portfolio for life or business be?
Gosh, the first thing that came to mind when you even said that, Eric, is, my kids go to a private school, and their philosophy, their mission statement is be kind, do good, work hard, make the world a better place. And that is, why I'm spending $3,000 a month to send them there, because like, I do think at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what business you're in, what job you have. If your full-time career is parenting, which is like 10 people's jobs. At the end of the day, that be kind, do good, work hard, make the world a better place. Like really that is the key to success. And so, yeah, that's what I would say that's probably the most important thing. I tell people all the time, Eric, like if you have a burning desire for a better life, I mean, if you really have a desire for a better life and you're coachable, meaning you find people who have the results you want in life, do what they do, learn how to say what they say, model those individuals. So, you have a desire, you're coachable, and you're willing to get off your ass and go to work. Like there's nothing you can't do. And so I really believe that was the key to my success, even at 23 years old, is I had a burning desire for a better life. I was super coachable and I was willing to work.
Wow. That right there, like if you take those three concepts into life, into relationships, into wealth, relationships, everything, have a burning desire, put the work in, guys, re-listen to that, re-listen to it again, own it, make it part of you. And when I say guys, I mean ladies and gentlemen. So that being said, thank you so much for your, any last words, anything that you want to, that we didn't cover that you just want to share real quick or anything like that? Or
yeah, I think, Eric, we covered a lot. If there's any other questions that you have, I mean, the key is just to go do it, and do it scared and be uncomfortable and get comfortable being uncomfortable, because honestly, I always say your comfort zone equals your wealth zone. So the more you get out of your comfort zone, the more money you're going to make. And when you think you can't do something and you go do it, you're going to shock the hell out of yourself, and you're going to be like, damn, why didn't I do it sooner? So really, if there's anything else you can think of, Eric, I just appreciate you so much, and love getting to know you more and more, and just grateful to be here today.
I'm super, you know what? I always ask this one question. So I'm going to set the stage real quick, because I think this question is, so you're at the largest event, like maybe it's a network marketing company, convention. Let's just say it's all full network marketing, like non-brand specific, everybody. There's 200,000 people there, and you've been to events. So you're the keynote, you're the Sunday afternoon speaker. So like after lunch, after everybody comes back, it's like ready, you're about to send everybody off to the next to the next event, to the next whatever they're doing. There's 200,000 people. Actually, when you look to the back of the hall, like there's pictures of all of the speakers, but you're like in the middle, like you're the one that everybody came to see. You get done doing your 45-minute, hour keynote presentation. Like you're done. 200,000 people stand up, turn around, see that poster with your picture on it. What's the one phrase you want 200,000 people, you want your audience, you want the people that you delivered to? What's the one phrase that you want them to remember Michelle Barnes by?
Oh, I just got chills, but there's so many. Okay, I'll go with the first one because I'm a total gut instinct person. Like, go with the first thing and take responsibility.
There you go. Take responsibility.
Yeah, take responsibility. I tell my team, I call it APR. I stole it from, I think, Robin Sharma, who I love, another amazing thought leader in the leadership world. But APR, absolute personal responsibility. And when you take absolute personal responsibility for where you are or aren't in your life, in every area of your life, stop being a victim, cut up the victim card, stop blaming, stop complaining, stop justifying, and just take responsibility and do it. Your entire life will change.
That's huge. APR, and it's not what you get at the car dealership.
Exactly.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It was an honor. It was a blessing to have you on the show. Super excited for what we're going to do. And guys, everybody stay tuned for that mastermind, because that's going to be something epic. And I'll see all of you on the next episode of Burnt Phone Marketing Radio. Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you so much for your listenership and your continued support of Burnt Phone Marketing Radio. This is Eric Sablon. And as a bonus to you, I wanted to give you guys a free strategy session with me. All you have to do is go to www.burntphonemarketing.com/book a call. And we will set up a strategy session to help you get unstuck. So that's www.burnphonemarketing.com/book a call.